Hello, this is Andreas Karaulanis for aetuts.com, and today I'm gonna show you how to create an audio-driven animation in After Effects using the trap code, Soundkeys and particular plugins. If you follow along with the project files, the final output will look like this. Okay, let's start. First of all, let's import project files. If you don't have access to the project files, it's okay. You can use your own graphics, your own audio as well. But if you really want to go along with this tutorial, you can use these files. So I'm gonna import the audio, import this composition as it is. Okay, and import these Photoshop layers as crop layers. Okay. So let's create a new composition, name this main, make it 69, 30 frames per second, 30 seconds, okay. And first thing is to create some particles here, so let's make a new solid. Name this particles, make it comp size, okay. Add some graphics here so we can use them as custom particles. In this case, I'm not gonna use a single graphic or a single layer, I'm just gonna use a whole composition. So I'm gonna drag it here. This composition is a small one, you can see here. It uses a couple of scripts. If you see here, it uses the is and with script and another one about with the inverse kinematics. The people who made these scripts are Nicolas Dufresne. You can see here his Vimeo page. It's got a really cool script. You can download it from here. Also, Ian Haig has another cool script. It's called the Instant Wiz. You can download it from ascripts.com. So let's go to our main comp here, and let's go to create some particles like we said. Next, we're gonna create a new light first. Call it emitter. Okay. Let's go to particles and go to effect, trap code, particular. Like we said, we're gonna create a custom one particle, so we're not gonna use the ready-made presets. So it's gonna be a custom. Basically, it's gonna be a custom color as one. I'll choose the whole composition for this layer, collage composition. Here it says that the layer size is too big, but it's okay. I'm gonna reduce the size later. I'm gonna choose these random still frames. Don't need to see this. I'm gonna change some settings here. I'm gonna make the particles like 40, emitter type light, like that here. The velocity around 90. Live 1 second, let's say. I'm gonna increase the size a little bit so we can see. I'm gonna make it like 143 here. I'm gonna add some color. So random color, let's say here. I'm gonna add some rotation. Let's say 120 by, okay. gonna add some physics. Basically, I'm gonna add some air. I'm gonna add some air in the y-axis. Let's say 530. Oops, okay. Gonna change the turbulence field and affect the position. Let's say 280. You can still make your own settings here with your own graphics. You don't necessarily have to follow this, but if you really like to, it's okay. So I think we're okay. What else? Let's add. We can always come back here later and make changes. What else? What else? I think we're okay. Okay, let's move on now with the audio part. We're gonna drag the audio into our main composition. The audio here belongs to a very good friend of mine. It's called Adonis Anisegos. You can check his work to myspace.com, Adonis Anisegos. Yeah, very cool stuff. So, we're gonna take the audio, we're gonna analyze it into keyframes, and we're gonna take the position of each keyframe and use this position to drive our main graphics. You see, first let's create a new solid and name this solid Soundkeys. Okay, then go to effect, trap code, Soundkeys. Alright, the way Soundkeys work. If you're not familiar with Soundkeys plugins at all, this is a plugin that comes from Red Giant software, and there are many cool tutorials. You can go and watch here into redgiantsoftware.com videos, tutorials, very detailed. Here they are. So we're gonna analyze the audio here. So we choose the audio, Soundkeys. No, the audio. And here we can see the tone of the audio. For example, if we move back and forth, we see the tones of the audio, so we can grab any piece of the audio we like, any value. For example, here are the higher tones, here are the mid tones, here are the lower tones. So we can choose any value of the audio we like. We can choose different ranges of the audio here, but in this case we're just gonna use one, just to keep it simple. So I think I'm just gonna take this one. It's kind of a mid-tones and higher tones together, just for the sake of this tutorial. So just gonna hit apply. This will take a minute. And now if we go into our Soundkeys and press U and reveal the keyframes, we're gonna see that all the audio has been analyzed into keyframes with different values. You can see here. So we're gonna use this value to link these values to the main light. So later we're gonna link this main light to our particles. To do so, I'm gonna type a simple expression that I'm gonna tell to this light that is called emitter to keep the original position, so I can manually move it around my stage, and in this position to add another position that is being controlled by the audio. So let's reveal the position. Alt and stopwatch for the expression. Well, whoops. Some keys here. Okay. Now I'm gonna say to keep this value like I said. So value plus. I'm gonna create an array so I can control the x and y axis independently. I'm gonna type the default position first, so it's position in the x-axis and position in the y-axis. I'm gonna keep the x-axis at the same point. I'm just gonna move the y-axis around. The y-axis is gonna be controlled by the audio. The x-axis is gonna stay as it is. So I'm gonna change this value here. To do so, I'm gonna write minus this value times 4. If we make a quick run preview, we're gonna see that the bigger the values here is in the output of the audio, the higher the particles moves to the y-axis, like now. Okay, so let's move on. Basically, I want to make a you see what I mean, but basically I want to make a small change and make a little movement in the x-axis as well, so I can wiggle a little bit the x position 3 times 3. Okay, so it's moved a little bit in the x-axis as well. Let's save the file as final project. Okay, so what we have till now is that the particles are be driven by the emitter. The emitter have its own value which can be manually animated, and plus it have the data from the sound, so it moves in the y-axis, sorry, depending on the amplitude of the audio. Plus a little bit wiggling in the x-axis. To gain the full control of it, we're gonna make some sliders for the x-axis wiggling, so we can animate them as we like and not be the same at the whole composition. This is the last step, so to do so, I'm gonna create a new null object. I'm gonna name this slider control. I'm gonna apply effect presence control slider control, and I'm gonna link this value to the slider. Create another slider, and I'm gonna link the second value to the wiggling to that slider. Okay, that's it with the expressions. It's time to move on. Now, all the hard work I think it's been done. Let's make a quick run preview to see. We can animate the wiggling in the x-axis like we said here from the sliders. This is very good because we can change the values and keyframe that. So for the moment I'm gonna keep these values to 0, come back later back to this, and continue with fixing a little bit the particles I made in the very beginning. So see this, so I'm gonna make a few changes in the settings here. For example, I'm gonna make this like 16. I'm gonna make the life a little bigger. Let's see, 0.3. Gonna Fixing the rotation a little bit. What else? Gonna change the rotation speed to 0.3. You see here the result. Okay, gonna change the size, I think, a little bit. I'm gonna make it a little bigger, like 264. Okay, that's better, I think. Let's add some new particle layers here, but instead of doing this from scratch and create new solid layers here, we're just gonna duplicate this one. So I'm gonna hit Command D to duplicate it a couple of times. Okay, let's add some graphics that we can use them for custom particles like we did in the beginning of this tutorial. I'll choose this one and that one. I'll make them invisible here. You don't really need to see them. So let's go to particles, 2 layers, do some changes here, make it a custom one. Oops, here particle. I'm gonna choose this graphic. I'm gonna make a few settings here. I'm gonna make it particles per second 1. The velocity I'm gonna keep it to 90. I'm gonna change the life to 3.6. I'm gonna change the rotation, I think, to 123 degrees. I'm gonna change the size of it. I'm gonna make it a little smaller, like let's say 73. Gonna make them. What else? What else? I'm gonna change the color of it. I'm gonna make it like 25, let's say. And let's check the physics as well. In here I'm gonna change the y-axis. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. I'm gonna make it like 110. Okay, with this I think we're okay. Let's make the last particle layer a few changes as well. It's this one. So choose for the particle settings. I'm gonna choose this graphic here. Oops, it's quite big. I'm gonna do some changes. I'm gonna make the particles live to 2. Change the velocity to 0. The random velocity and the velocity from motion to 0 as well. Make the life of it a little bigger, like 9. Change the rotation like 66 degrees. The rotation speed to 0.7, let's say. Make the size a little smaller, like 25. Let's see. Let's add some physics somewhere as well. I'm gonna make the wind in the x-axis like minus 196 and the wind in the y-axis like 73. I'm gonna add some spin amplitude here like 14. I'm gonna keep this to 0. Okay, here I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna affect the size of the particles to 12 and the position to, let's say, 109. Okay, let's see. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Let me change the color of this particle layer, number 3, this one. So I'm gonna keep it black and white. Just gonna make it custom simply. Okay, the next step is to drag some graphics from here to our main composition and arrange them through times. To do that, I'm gonna get these graphics here, place, this one, I think, this one, and that, and this one here. Okay, now let me do a little house cleaning. I'm gonna delete this one. I'm going to reveal that. I'm going to bring this on top, let's say here. I'm going to make its blending mode like screen. I'm gonna drag it here, here. What else? I'm going to make these layers invisible. I really don't need to see them here, so I'm gonna delete this. I don't need it, I think. Oops. Just gonna make it invisible because we use this graphic for the particles. Gonna bring this on top. Gonna drag it here, here. Gonna scale down this one. Gonna make it like 40 by 40. Gonna make it here. Oops. I'm gonna bring this one up here. I'm gonna scale it down a little bit, like 44. Okay. I'm going to rotate this one. Basically, I'm going to put it somewhere like here. Oops, here. I'm gonna take this out. I'm going to rotate this one as well. Put it here. Going to bring this on top of its layer. Okay. I think we are okay now. Now I will manually try to move the layers through different times so it can start at different points in our movie. We can watch the waveform here of the audio so we can see the changes in the amplitude. For example, I will move a layer around here, this one around here, so it can start at different times. For example, the base layer, I will move it to this time. Okay, okay. The silver Photoshop layer, I will send it to this time. Okay, this layer, I will bring it here. Oops, I forgot to do that. Okay, the eye colors layer, I will bring it to this time. Okay, slider control of this one, I will hide this one. This layer, I will leave it here. The emitter, it's okay. The particles now, send this one here. Oops, basically second layer of the particles, I'm gonna send it at this time, and the third one, I'm gonna send this to that time. Okay, let's save the project. Hide this. Okay, I'm not gonna spend more time with the graphics. I'm just gonna make a quick run preview till now. So you can play around as long as you like, but for now I think I'll stop here. You can use your own graphics like I told you. You can change the settings of the particles. You can arrange the layers through different time, through the composition. Let's see. Oops. I think I'll just move the emitter light a little further, and I'll try to move these layers as well. Add a little wrinkle in these layers. This one. This one. I think I'll add an expression to this one to follow these particles. Okay, let's see it now. I think I'm gonna move this one here and here, make a ramp preview from here. Oops. That's better. Okay, let's add some last touches to our composition. This layer, I'm gonna solo this layer. I'm gonna reveal the position and add a little wiggle in it so oops, it can move like 0.4. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna get this layer, the red one. I think it's called, yeah, this one. I'm gonna do the same for the position. Alt and stopwatch. Bring it like 2,3. Okay. What else? And also what I like to do is take this graphic here and move it along with the emitter, with the light, which is, oops, let's undo that, which is this one, so it can move around with the same position as the emitter. To do that, I'm gonna copy the position of the emitter to the position of this graphic. It's this one, I think, yes. Position, Alt and stopwatch. I'm gonna get this position. So now it's moving along with the light. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for this layer as well, with a small difference. I'll tell you what, let's copy this position with this, but the only difference is that I want this movement of this graphic to stay behind half a second, so I can have a small delay. To do that, I'm gonna type this function here. Oops, I think it's value at time minus 1.5. Okay, this means that this graphic here, this one, it will follow the emitter, but it will stay behind 1.5 seconds. To see what I mean, it's gonna be like this. I'll make a ramp view so you can understand better. You see this layer and this one, the black and the... Let me hide the other layer so you can understand better. This one and this one, they are moving along with the sound, but in different times. Alright, let's unsolo these layers and make one final ramp review. As I told you, you can use your own graphics and your own audio as well if you don't have access to the project files. You can play around with different settings for the particles. Basically, I used these ones because I had already these graphics for my last movie. You can watch it here, same graphics at my Vimeo page. You can watch some of my other movies as well. Okay. It's kind of interesting. 10 seconds. This whole composition reminds me of a chicken, I'd say. This is the mouth, this is the head, this is the body. It's funny. You can also check my personal blog here. See here the same movie with some other movies and illustrations, some installations as well. Like I told you, this graphic controlled by the emitter light, which is controlled by the sound. This one as well with a small delay. The particles are moving along with the audio because they're being driven by the light. Okay. Now you can see it better. Head, the mouth, the body, the eggs. Let's put this. Once again, this is Andres Karaulanis and thank you for watching this tutorial.